Hello. As you can see, I'm still in bed. But I did wake up this morning thinking to myself, I feel like I need a change of scenery. I feel like I need a change in environment. I feel like I need an adventure. I need a long walk. So somebody suggested Oriental Plaza. But the truth is, somebody let me know in the chat who's familiar with Oriental Plaza. Hi GP, hi Peter Griffin. Who's familiar with Oriental Plaza? The most important question is, will I find coffee there? Grand Rising Pranal. Will I find coffee at Oriental Plaza? If I don't find coffee there, then it's not going to happen. I'm not going to go. So until somebody tells me where to find the coffee, I did Google samosas. I didn't really know like Oriental Plaza was this huge market type place. So I also Googled, do they have samosas? And then I saw a store called Samosa Heaven or House of Samosas or Samosa Kingdom or something. Will I find a coffee shop there? That's an important question. Coffee shop? Do you ever wash that purple hoodie? Probably when I do laundry. When I do laundry, I'll probably wash it. You know what? It's not looking dirty, so that's also a factor in whether I choose to wash the hoodie. How's that apartment stay so far? It's definitely the best apartment I've ever had. It's the most peaceful I've ever felt in my life. It's the most aligned I've ever felt in my life. It's the most in touch with my authentic self that I've ever been. It's definitely the most memorable food that I've ever cooked. Okay, Tani, I didn't know that. I thought that things need to be washed when they look dirty. That was my deciding factor all this time. What else? I feel the most peaceful I've ever felt. There are definitely tensions in my body which I no longer feel, and there are tensions in my body which I now feel as a result of being here, which, by the way, are not a result of this place. It's a result of my spiritual development journey. Most memorable meals I've ever cooked, most nourished I've felt. Also some downsides like cigarette addiction showed itself again. So I would say overall my life is balanced, but there are definitely things I want to move on from. Like I want to move on from cigarettes for one, and I want to move on from, eventually I want to move on from the CBD. Hi, Monica. Hi, Annie. Eventually, I want to move on from the CBD because of reasons. What are those reasons? It's very noisy. Hi, Ranel. Hi, Annie. Yes, I am in bed. I'll be getting up maybe in 8 minutes. If I can find coffee at Oriental Plaza, please let me know in the chat so that I can mentally prepare myself. Because if I go there and there's no coffee, I will feel like I wasted my trip. Even now it's noisy. I can hear the traffic. How do you manage without a heater? I don't feel cold. I've not felt cold here. It's definitely also the best that I've handled winter. Or maybe the least felt cold ever. So that's a thing. And I have this storm blanket and I have this duvet. So I've got to go. I feel like I've been indoors for 5 days. Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Too many indoors days. I'm not a fan. No, Monica, that's not true. That is not true. Iron levels get low as a vegetarian. What's the logic there? Okay, masala chai from small samosa shop at entrance 1. Do you drink coffee every day? I do. Yeah. Monica, where you going out? Okay, so I guess I'm gonna walk there. And this will be me venturing out to the west. Which, as you know, if it's an Americano, I add sugar. If I'm drinking coffee indoors, the Jacobs one in my kitchen, then I don't add sugar. Mall just to walk sounds fun. Okay, so yeah, okay, I'll go try that drink. I was in Santon over the weekend. Thanks for the ice creams. I don't want to wear the black hoodie. Yesterday, somebody asked me if I work at this Plaza shop, and I was like, I wasn't really offended. I did ask them, what about me looks like I work there? Because I know kind of, the look. I know the look that I wear. The look that I wear, it gives off a certain vibe. It is tailored for my comfort, but in some ways it makes me look easily judgmental. As long as I'm comfy, I agree. But now if I wear all black look, it scares people. It does scare people, so I have to keep that in mind. I can wear an all black look to a Santon and it works well, but I can't wear an all black look to other spaces. Okay. Okay, so hopefully I will get something nice to eat there. It scares people because they're insecure and they're fearful, that's why. So they're always, when you live in the CBD, you'll see that people are always on the lookout for somebody that could be a threat to them. And you see it like, you walk next to somebody and they're like that. You walk this way and they're like that. So everybody's there. A person's eyes are here, but they're vigilant all the way. So yeah, they're always concerned about a threat, somebody that could hurt them, somebody that could take something from them, somebody that could say something. And you see it also, like sometimes it's just a hello, but the person they will have that look for 2 seconds, that look of, what did he say? Why are you talking to me? And then it registers, no, it was harmless. It was entirely harmless. So I've seen this, I've lived here for long. No, I don't eat eggs. I've lived here for a long time. I would say definitely people walk on eggshells. You can lose your wallet without even feeling anything in Jersey. I don't have a wallet, but Yeah, I don't want to wear this look. I want to wear. I'm gonna wear something different. Non-verbal. You know, don't carry a wallet. It's so unnecessary. I cooked the okra. Those who were present for live yesterday know that I cooked the okra and I ate the okra. And I have leftovers for today, so I'm looking forward to eating my leftovers because today I get to have okra with pasta. I love the sliminess. I love what it does to the gravy. I slept with this rose quartz in my pocket, and sometimes you know what? I don't know if it's me, but your dreams will be extra vivid when you sleep with this. And yeah, the dreams I had, you could make movies out of those dreams. You could definitely make movies. I'll be honest with you, I've never been robbed, and I've never been pickpocketed, and I've never lost something, and it's not for me. I haven't deep fried okra. I don't have oil. I don't have oil. I'm using Rama at the moment. I have Rama, I have the green tub of Flora, and I also have Layla, do you believe in the unseen? Isn't physical reality is only 5% of all matter in the universe? Did you know that? Somebody fact check that. That most of reality is unseen. Isn't jinn some type of entity? Demonic entity? What does it feed on? Does it feed on suffering? Because a lot of these entities, they feed on your addiction, your pain, your suffering, your turmoil, your sorrow, your grief, your depression. They feed on your negative energy. Hi, what's for breakfast? We're not even there yet. We're not there yet. I want to wear this. I'm going to be walking, and I don't know how. Everything happens spiritual before it becomes physical. That is true. That is true. If you want to create something physical, you've got to create it non-physical first. That's why thoughts are so important when it comes to manifestation, because you need to be convinced that you have it in your subconscious mind first, and then it appears in physical reality. What did you watch last night? Heretic. I did watch Heretic. Was it a tragic ending? That's not something I expected. I did not expect a tragic ending. Negative energy. If you know you're in negative energy, there's a part of that where you... Okay, I'll wear the all black. It looks cold. There's a part of that negativity that you've got to feel as a result of what you experienced. But if you're prolonging it longer than you have to, then you're entering territories of being, manipulated, fed on and stuff, and that's not good for you. Okay, let's wear the yellow one. Somebody reminded me to wash my hoodies. Are you enjoying the new apartment? Is joy part of it? I enjoy where my life is and how I've had realizations about life, especially over the past 2 to 3 months. Really, I've been talking about family toxic dysfunction a lot because things have just been hitting me here, there, and everywhere. about certain things, and I was like, if I didn't come here, I would not have. As much as I am facing cigarette addiction, there's so many beautiful, wonderful things that have come to my awareness since I've been here that I am grateful for this season, even though I'm struggling with this one thing. Just this one thing. I think life would have been perfect if it wasn't there. Still, do you have siblings? I do have siblings. If I was not facing the cigarette thing, it would have been 10 times better. Did you skip the shower? I didn't intend to shower. Thanks, Cash Sense. Wow, never got that gift before. Thanks for DJ Glasses. I don't shower in the morning. If I'm showering, it's probably in the afternoon or the evening. So what I do as my morning routine is, if I need to add deodorant, I do. But as a vegetarian, that's a rare, because my sweat, it doesn't smell anymore. But this hoodie hat is smelling like castor oil. Well, that's normal because I use castor oil as post-shave. Do I need to shave my head? No. Perfect. So I can just go. My body sweat doesn't smell bad anymore. So become a vegetarian and you'll find out that not only do you not get the cold, you realize that meat was in some way weakening your immune system, and that's why you were catching colds and flus. That's why when people were talking about cold and flu season, you were convinced that your body was at risk. Things that change. The smell of your body sweat, your propensity to illness. Your shit doesn't smell bad anymore. Like when you're eating flesh, it smells horrific. You can definitely tell something was rotting in there. But when you become a vegetarian, things change. You skip shower. If I choose to shower, it's usually afternoon or evening. Yeah, morning showers for me are quite rare. Morning showers are quite rare. What's next? Honestly, to those people that are expressing views about my body preparation, my hygiene, and all of those things, you're completely out of line and you can stop, because I'm not interested to hear that. What you do for yourself is great for you, but stay out of my hygiene, stay out of my health, stay out of my other items, and stop acting like the way you do things is superior. Especially women. Women have been forced to be so prim, tucked, proper, and tight that there was like excessive curation on a woman's body. So having grown up in those circumstances, and now women in the chat are telling me about hygiene standards, I'm not interested to hear it, honestly. Take care of your own body. Care about your body, definitely. But when it comes to my laundry, when it comes to my showering, when it comes to those types of things, mind your business. Mind your business. Politely and kindly. as a final thought, I consider washing something when it's dirty, and that's what I said before. That's what I said about the hoodies. So, that you're telling me with the sedentary at-home lifestyle that my body's dirty after one day, it doesn't make sense. If I were working in a factory, if I were working in a car dealership, if I were dealing with oils and messes and those types of things, it makes sense. It makes sense to shower every day. But I don't sweat here. There's no smell. And my body is not as dirty as it would be as if I were working in a factory. So I can care about my skin, When you're stripping, one of the things that you see, people are stripping their skin with the chemically laid antibacterial soap every day. And then they're rubbing the petroleum cream on their bodies. And they're like, dry skin. Please. So, I know what my body needs. I've learned about my life. I've learned about my body. And I respect my body. I do. Does your routine switch in summer? Well, my wardrobe changes definitely, my wardrobe changes. Frequency of shower changes. Wardrobe changes. I'm wearing shorts and t-shirt usually in the summer. In winter, I can go by without using deodorant. In summer, just because of insecurity, I'll wear it. What else? Yeah, that's pretty much it. But honestly, showering in the morning has never been a thing that I was interested in. I used to do it when I was living in my Cape Town dream apartment, I would still be showering in the evening. But the idea that, it's very corporate 9 to 5. For me, that's how I see it. It's very corporate 9 to 5, and I'm not into that life. I'm not into that. There's also the thing of showering to impress someone, or showering to go to the mall, or showering to prepare for something. That's not how I do it. Okay, but that's not how I see it. I don't see it like that. I feel fresh by virtue of taking my breath. I think, it's not even, I'm bored actually. Do people recognize you in public? Yes, they do. But one thing that I've seen is that most people don't say anything. Most people don't say anything to me in public. They just stare. Thanks, Castians. I don't want to follow anybody else's hygiene standards. People are trying to talk to me like I'm 6 years old and I need to learn about hygiene. I need to learn about living in a human society. I need to learn about X, Y, and Z. Stop trying to parent me. I've successfully I've not just survived, I've successfully thrived and flourished in my life over the past 30 years, despite all of the things that have happened. And I did grow up in an environment where people were excessively hygiene conscious. Excessively hygiene conscious. To the point where you're bathing If you see dead skin in your bathtub, it's considered you being dirty. It's not considered you cleaning your body. It's considered that you're seeing the dead skin because you're dirty. People expect that when you shower, the water must always run clean. That's scrubbing obsessed people were. You want to make your body as prim, proper, like a soldier. You want to practice that level of discipline. I'm not into it. It was actually traumatizing. So now that I don't have terrible body hygiene out of becoming a vegetarian, now that I don't have excessive sweating, things have changed. I also recognize that your skin looks dry because you're scrubbing it dry every day. And then you create the problem of having to moisturize. So now you're applying the petroleum cream. So I just have reevaluated things. If you're unfamiliar with reevaluating things, it's part of the free spirit mindset, which is when we apply our minds to life and living, and we see whether things that have been taught to us actually do apply to our lives. And as you can see, there are subtle things that you take for granted that I have reevaluated for myself. Hi Tan, hi Vincent. I don't dream of marriage. I don't dream of marriage. I don't dream of relationships. Thanks, Bam Bam. I do sometimes wonder about what does true love feel like. Not true love, true romantic love. No, don't ask me that question. My showering is not your business. Are y'all dating me? Are y'all trying to date me? What's happening here? What's going on? Also, women that went through excessive control over your bodies, I'm sorry that you went through that. It's time to heal now. For some of the people in your life, you were never good enough. Your hair was too long, your hair was too bushy, your skin was too dark, you're not showering enough, you're showering too less, and this and that, your dress is too short. They excessively try to curate your body. Don't put that onto me. I brush my teeth before I eat, but if I'm concerned about bad breath or I'm expecting to meet someone, I will brush my teeth before that. Yeah. Okay. Do you brush your tongue? Yes, I do. Oh, what? We're on dental hygiene this morning. We're on all the hygiene questions. Let me tell you that the main concern is the main concern for me was often sweat and odor. So sweat is drastically reduced in winter. It's further drastically reduced by virtue of me living indoors, being indoors, operating my business here, doing my content mostly indoors. Odor stopped being a thing when I became a vegetarian, and I realized that part of my body excreting water through the skin was also excretory things from what I'm eating in my diet. And if I'm eating flesh, of course I'm going to smell like death after. Some of these people, they start emitting body odor 1 hour after they shower. That's how bad it is. So I don't face that anymore. So your shower standards don't apply to me because I'm a vegetarian and I'm living a fairly sedentary lifestyle also in winter. The excessive scrubbing and cleaning that often goes on for a human body to be prim, proper, fresh, professional, curated, this and that, go for it. But I've taken a lot of time to learn my body and to learn what does it need and to learn timings between things. and to identify, you know, intensities, frequencies, all of these types of things to make sure that this body gets what it needs, because I'm in charge of this body. You're not in charge of this body. I am not even in charge. I'm responsible for taking care of this body. So every choice I make is often intentional, and it's an intentional choice to make sure that I care for this body. Thanks, Layla. I chew green apples to clean my teeth. I actually only discovered that lately, that some of these fruits don't leave a, some of these breads leave a film on your teeth. But fruits have a cleaning type of action. I didn't realize that. Furthermore, I use wipes after pooping. So that's an additional layer of cleaning the body. I know a lot of people were roasting me about using wipes after pooping, but you know what? That's not something you can laugh at. The joke is actually on the person who's laughing. What's for breakfast? I'm going to Oriental Plaza to find breakfast, whatever it is. I wish I had a power bank. I'm just realizing now. Okay, I'm glad that it's a thing. I also realize that sometimes people ridicule me for things that they're actually insecure about. And honestly, me feeling shame at 31 years old, especially when I spent so much time thinking about life and thinking about things, it doesn't work anymore. I was craving a Mall of Africa trip. I really was. But I can forego the 50 Rand cost of transport by just walking to Oriental Plaza and trying a new place. And that's why it's so important for me to know that's why it's so important for me to know whether there's coffee there. Because if there's no coffee there, but somebody said masala chai. So, okay, let's have masala chai. By the way, I've been attracted to Indian people lately. I know it's a shocker, right? I've been seeing some of these. Okay, there's some of these South Indian Tamil content creators in New York, and I've kind of been finding them attractive. I wonder if my life is changing. I've been so traumatized by Indian people throughout my life that to find them attractive sexually and romantically has always been a challenge. And furthermore, adding to that was self-hatred that was conditioned in me growing up. So when I looked at somebody potentially romantic, I would be turned off. But really, I'm turned off not just by them, but by me, because I see myself in them. So now that I'm starting to grow in love and appreciation for hot Indian boys, I wonder if I'm also growing in self-love. Am I growing in self-love that I can finally appreciate somebody that looks like me? To also be able to admit that I think I'm Tamil. And I've been brainwashed into believing that I'm not for such a long time that whenever I looked in the mirror, I wondered, why do I look different? Now I know. I look different because I am. But when I look at the Tamils and they look like me, I finally feel at home. I finally feel like, oh, it's not that there's something wrong with me. It's that I've been believing that I'm something that I'm not for such a long time. I grew up in a household where you couldn't possibly sexualize women. You see them in the most, honestly, you saw them as the worst people on earth. The worst people on earth. The way I grew up, the women I grew up around were some of the most cruelest, evilest people you ever met. So to think that a boy is going to look at that and think, I want to sleep with someone who looks like that, it doesn't happen. You probably decided at 5 years old that you're going to be gay. Because to marry someone like this, absolutely no way. Absolutely no way. No way. I said decided, sorry, I didn't mean that. So I know some people follow the born this way narrative. And I also think like somebody said this, like, could you be searching for masculine love because you never got it from either your dad or your mom? Could you be sexualizing masculine love because that's the only way you know how to receive it after never getting it your entire life? What if you just became safe with having masculine love in a non-sexual way? How would that feel? That's something I'm interested to find out. Thanks to everyone in the chat for that. Thanks for the encouragement, the support, and all of those types of things. But honestly, your spirit doesn't have sexuality, so when this body perishes into the ground, hopefully I'll be free from sexual desire before then. I've probably been a heterosexual being in many previous lifetimes before this, so I don't even consider it a big deal. Did they scare you that bad? Yeah, there's almost an aversion. It's not just a fear. It started off as a fear. I mean, of course, as a child, if people are threatening you and hurting you, you're going to be scared. But now it's an aversion to the point of like almost disgust. It was there. And I'm being so raw with how I'm describing this, only to not be, painting it in a butterflies and roses way, which I think will be misleading with regards to my true experience. I don't consider me developing an attraction for women part of healing. Remember, my goal and my prayer to my higher self, the infinite spirit, is to free me from sexual desire entirely. Free me entirely. I don't want to be attracted to men or women or anything. Just leave me out of that. I don't want to feel craving to ejaculate. I don't want to feel sexual desire. I don't want to feel attraction. I want to save my energy for more important things. Because as a man, I mean, as a human, your energy is very important. Your energy can be used for such important things in your life. When I look at, when I read stories about Krishna, Shiva, even some of the modern yogis like Paramahansa Yogananda and all of that, they always talk about training your mind to overcome desire. And when I think about great men in physical reality, those are the great men that I think about. Somebody in the family I grew up in once said to me, like, I want you to have a family. And in my mind, I thought I would probably have failed in life. If that's the decision I take, I wonder what would have happened. I wonder what would have made me give up. Because that's my view for my life. I don't consider it desirable. I don't dream of kids. I don't dream of shaping somebody to be like me. I don't dream of giving somebody the life I never had, because I'm giving myself the life I never had. The life I never had, I'm giving it to me. I think the idea that dating is pure is ignorant. Because in this world, you see that the culture is about thrusting, it's about sex, and it's about money. And we don't want it to be that way, right? You wish it wasn't like that. But it is. Dating in this time is very transactional. And I think that the way to find a high quality partner is to not be average. Don't be average and you'll find a high quality partner. Dating is basically business. It is what it is, and it's a shame. Yeah, I mean, marriage was created out of uniting families and ensuring that power is now consolidated. That's where marriage was created. God only got added to it later. Some people are acting like God is there witnessing who you're going to have sex with for 40 years. That's also why ignorance about history will make you stupid. You'll be thinking things are about something when they're actually about something else. I've heard people say, in the eyes of God, we're still married, as if God is there giving a fuck about you being the 2 billionth human to make a promise that you're not going to keep. I know you're not going to keep that promise. It's even more challenging in this time because you're seeing now that people are normalizing side chicks and sides whatever. They're normalizing being unsatisfied in a marriage. They're normalizing having exit options. And it makes me even wonder now, like what is the point of that? Oprah and Stedman didn't get married, but they seem to be very satisfied in their relationship. Which God? There's only one God. The great infinite self. He who shines behind the eyes of all beings. There comes a point in your meditation journey when you look into the eyes of various creatures and you see the same entity. It's the same being looking through all the eyes. Thanks, Tan. I think that eating from the tree of life, which is the forbidden tree? Is it the tree of knowledge of good and evil, or is it the tree of life? Would you become a monk? No. The Buddha showed that extreme asceticism is not for everyone. There is a middle path, there's a way of moderation. There's a way of, so many Indian yogis showed the householder method, which is that you can still live a human life and be spiritually aligned. I think that the tree of life is the nervous system. So going down, why? Because life comes out of your loins, right? So eating from the tree of life means having sex. Eating from the tree of knowledge of good and evil would be the nervous system the other way around, is going upwards to your brain. So I think that if you stop eating from the tree of life and you start eating from the tree of knowledge of good and evil, it means you're not prioritizing sex anymore. Whenever you feel that energy there, you're trying to send it upwards to your brain. You're trying to feed your brain with that energy of desire, and you're trying to create new outcomes, not outcomes of releasing, but outcomes of creating. So that's how I think about it. And that also makes me pray for the day when I'll be released from sexual desire. Because as a human, you know that your body's cravings are sometimes not ideal. Sometimes you're like, I don't even want this. How can we send energy upwards? Visualization. Your visualizations are real. That means if you are having 50,000 thoughts a day, each one of them is in some way physical and tangible as well. So your visualizations can control things in your body. So take advantage of that. Stop masturbating. I'll say this, when there are times in my life when I'm extremely focused on something, I will move on from all sexual stuff, dating, that, whatever. I'll give myself an entire period of time in which the only thing I'm focused on is the thing I need to work on. So that's how I handle it. But at the same time, I am acknowledging that I have a human body and I'm living a human life. So there are just some things that I've got to deal with. Okay, I'm almost gonna leave soon. But thanks for being here. Thanks for getting ready with me. How can we watch the live of my breakfast yesterday? Give me a second. I agree with you, GP. I definitely agree with you. What was I saying? I'm figuring out. I discovered yesterday that using my MacBook to edit video is not ideal. Not ideal for the level of frequency that I want to post. So I'm going to figure out today what level of frequency works better for that. Okay, thanks for joining me. That's why some people don't elevate in life, staying in one level for long. Thanks for letting me know about that. Yeah, I'm definitely aware of the negative consequences of relieving. So the serpent in the Bible represents spinal cord. Okay, now we're on to something. Zuli, you are using your mind in a ideal way. You are using your mind in an ideal way. The Bible has a lot of symbolism, and if we don't use our minds to unpack that, then we miss the point. Okay, take care, everyone. Have a wonderful day, and maybe I'll upload a video when I'm there. Who knows? You know what? It's looking scary, and the scariness is that I don't find anything to eat. So samosas I know are there. Somebody said there's chai. I hope to find it. I will let you know. Take care. Have a wonderful day, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. My goal is 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. See you. Bye.